Hey guys, this is Stephanie Caldwell. This is episode 2 of It's All Questionable, my podcast. So today I brought with me my girl Brandy.
Hey everybody!
She is my bestie. She is throughout this entire book that I just got published called It's All Questionable. And what we want to do right here on this podcast is just kind of break it all down. Brandy has called me a surface level person on more than one occasion. And she's right. I breeze over some details. Brandy's having a problem with her earphones.
Technical difficulties. I
all
fucking
good.
hate podcasts, by the way, y'all.
Oh, yeah. She hates podcasts. She hates the sound of her voice. So I brought her on the podcast, and it's going to be all good.
I hate watching myself on video, so let's fucking do this.
Woo! She's going to go for it, and we're going to watch her sweat. So we're going to go over some little truths that I did not unveil in this book. We're going to dive into the details. We're going to pick it apart. And we're going to discuss some of the very questionable decisions that I have made in my life. So here we go. First, we kind of want to touch on how we met. So, believe it or not, we both went to college. We both went to college. I couldn't believe it. We made it, and we went to a little place called Reinhardt College.
I believe you're still paying for that.
Oh yeah, $180 a month for the rest of my life as well. I'll be paying for that private little college.
Just want to give Juju a shout out and her cash.
Yeah, she has a mom who paid for her. I was on my own, so I'm like stroking some checks, and I will be for the rest of my life, which is all good. It's all good, whatever.
You don't need that $180.
So we were.
The fries were good.
They were delicious.
Still paying off the Gordy or the mess hall fries.
Mess hall fries, Gordy fries, whatever you want to call them. They were delicious. So Reinhardt College. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
It's up in Waleska, Georgia, which is near Canton, Georgia. Small little area. And at the time, there was nothing going on up there but a college and a BP. A college and a BP.
Oh, I love the BP.
So we had all these feisty little 18-year-olds that just got released from their parents' home and wanted to go out and do things, but all we had to do up there was go to different parts of the woods and have names for them and bring a Jeep, probably Paula's Jeep, some music, a big garbage can of Hunch Punch that you would mix with your arm,
and
it was red.
Kool-Aid, fruit, and all clear liquors.
Golden grain?
You had to make sure you stirred it with your arm. It wasn't the same if you didn't get the sweat and the oil off and the salt off your arm.
And your arm was stained red for a good week.
Yes, so everybody knew where you'd been after that because your arm was stained red for a week. Everybody knew you were on the bottom of the totem pole with the sorority because whoever had the red arm was was in the shit.
On that note, we're in a sorority too. So not only did we go to college.
That's even more ridiculous than us going to college. Us going to college is semi-believable. Me being in a sorority will probably shock the world if you know me personally.
Shock the world. So that's why, for some reason, AXO was put on this earth for people like us.
For sorority girls that aren't sorority girls, they like to drive in Jeeps with the doors off, they like to drink beer, they like to party, and they like to cuss. That's AXO.
Alpha Chi Theta is this tiny little local sorority that was actually later disbanded for hazing, which is highly illegal. I don't know.
Highly illegal.
But I picture like what's that movie called? All right, all right, all right.
Oh,
that's the kind of movie that we're talking about with the hazing.
Okay, don't ask me questions live.
You know the movie.
I know
what
you're talking about. Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
No!
Or the other one then.
It's the one where there's like
Matthew McConaughey, Ben Affleck. I can see him right now chasing the kid with his paddle, but I cannot think of the name of the damn movie. Anyway, moving on. It's that with girls.
Yes. So we had a lot of weed smoking, beer drinking, parties, but even though we got hazed to hell and back, like I'm talking about, I'm in the back of a truck in the middle of January in the freezing cold, it's raining, and I'm piled up with me and 9 other girls like Brandy, like in a pile, going up a mountain so we can go up there so I can lay in a huge creek and break ice with my head. So they can pour syrup and mustard and ketchup and eggs all over us. Like, who does
Remember when I
that?
bucked on Stacey Ramsey that time in line? We used to have to like get in line and like we
Get
had
yelled at.
we had roll names or roll call or something. I don't remember exactly
Roll call,
what it was.
yes.
It was all these little things
Roll
we had to
call.
do. Stupid shit like, can you say the Greek alphabet in 26 seconds or less? And can
Backwards.
It's stupid dumb shit. But then one day I remember standing in line and I was just pretty much finished with the whole thing. You can only yell at me for so long, so many days in a row, and I'm gonna take it for a minute and I'm gonna buck. So I remember telling Stacey Ramsey that I was gonna beat her goddamn ass if she put that dog biscuit anywhere else near my mouth again.
Of all the things
Shout
you
out
do,
Gator Face.
hey Gator Face, of all the things that they made us do, that
was the thing that broke me. And trust me, that was not the thing. That was not the thing that should have broken. That should not have been the straw.
It should have been the fact that they used me. They used me as a human remote control at 3 a.m. They would call me up, hey girl, come and change my channel, and they have the remote sitting right beside them in the bed, and I gotta go change the channel. They're like, hey girl, I want you to wear this cucumber around your neck all week and all of your classes and see what happens. And then there was lots of questions in Algebra 1. So
we were in that remedial math class together.
I think I did it twice.
I know it is funny. We went to college, but what's even funnier is there is a math class that you're probably still paying for.
Yes.
That you didn't even get credit for. That's how like math negative. It was math 101, and it was basically like 10th grade math for people that just couldn't get the job done.
Dazed and confused.
Dazed and confused. Thank you.
Yes. Now we can sleep at night. So
there you go. So
that was a little bit of a glimpse.
Where did you party the most at Reinhardt? We used to have these different places where you would like the rabbit cages pull off, the
river. I think I was at the river mostly.
mostly.
Paula would bring her Jeep over to crank up music, and we'd party until everybody started fighting. I mean, we were straight up hillbillies. And then the pull off is where you decided to fall into the creek. And
I didn't decide. It was decided for me. But John Moore saved my life.
Hey, John Moore. That's a name I didn't think we'd be bringing
up
on
the
this.
podcast. I know. Shout out John Moore for saving my life so that I could be here with y'all today.
We talked to a lot of people from our sorority, like on the daily, like we're all really close friends. John Moore's not one of those.
He's not one of the
random that you brought him up.
You know what else is random? He lives and bought the house kind of like adjacent or catty corner to my best friend growing up, Angela. They live in the same neighborhood now, or they used to. I don't know if they still do.
Hey, Angela.
Anyway, but John Moore pulled me out of a creek. When you partied at the pull-off, there was like the place you partied, and then there was like this, like, I don't know, 100 feet or so away where you went and peed. And the way that you guided yourself back was by the campfire.
ladies' room?
Yeah, the ladies' room was 100 feet away in a pile of brush that didn't have poison ivy.
Yeah.
So the way you guided yourself back was by the campfire, or at least I thought that was what I used. And walking in a straight line to the campfire gets you dumped in the river. And John Moore, I was not strong enough. I mean, I was this high up to the bank was this high to my thing. There was no way I was going to hike out of there. I was drinking Hunch Punch all afternoon with you guys. And so yeah, shout out John Moore. He saved my life so I could be on this podcast today. I really appreciate that, John.
So on that note, we all had jersey names in our sorority. And what was your jersey name based off that story, Brandy?
Based on that story, my jersey name was Loch Ness. So my first jersey, you don't get to name yourself your first year. They give you the big sisters give you your own jersey name, and so my name that year was Loch Ness.
Yes.
And I was a 7th power. There was something about like only some of us went on that hazing ride that you got the certain number, and I had that number because I got on that ride because I went on that certain particular hazing run because of my big mouth. So
my jersey name was Velvet Chunk. So there's like 2 words and 2 stories to that. First is velvet part. We didn't have a whole lot of bars, you know, like we say, we got all these places in the woods where we partied. Well, we did venture out to Buckhead from time to time because there was the Chameleon Club. They got the quarter beer night. You could plop a $5 bill on the bar and be like, keep them coming. So they give you all these quarter beers all night, and we're just like dancing, and I got my little outfit on. And back in the day, I wore skirts, girl. Remember skirts? Half skirt, half shorts.
For what reason, God only knows.
You know, they were cool. So I got a black velvet skirt. I got tights on. I got these like high cloggy shoes. So I'm out there in the middle of the dance floor drinking my quarter beers. I'm probably on like 6
I was
or
gonna say, you're $4.75 in at this point at least.
100%. So I'm like talking to this cute boy in the middle of the dance floor. So I don't notice that my skirt has slithered down my legs because I have tights on, and they're wrapped around my ankles. I'm in the middle of the dance floor talking to a cute boy, and I go to walk. I don't know if you've ever walked with a skirt around your ankles before. It's not that easy, and you look like an idiot, and you all do a face plant, and then you notice, and then all of a sudden you're one word onto your jersey, velvet. And the second word is chunk, and that's pretty obvious. I mean, chunk. Threw up all over myself. Velvet chunk. I'm disgusting, I know. And then, I don't know about you, but I remember what my number was. It was .9. Do you know why I had a .9 on the back of my jersey?
There's no telling.
That was my GPA.
No wonder she's still paying for this show.
I think I mean, it was hard work getting that .9.
I think throw up is like a running theme of some of the jersey names. I remember our second year, Jenny Crimmins, we nicknamed her Pimp, and Pimp stood for puke in my purse. Because she puked in her purse in my driveway at my parents' house. Because I was like, don't you get out of this car and throw up in my mama's driveway. Don't you do it, Jenny Crimmins. Don't you do it.
Juju and I had that.
So the second year when she got to name herself, I helped her come up with that. It was Pimp. Puke in my purse.
Puke in my purse. So yeah, we had a good time with those jersey names, and we just have these amazing flashbacks from college. We got the BP with the chicken sandwiches. That's what we lived off of.
And a chicken sandwich for $5.
$5, and for a couple gallons of gas, I feel like, for that $5.
Probably.
So we had an awesome time. We will have those memories forever. More on that later, but that's where we just wanted to give a little picture on where we come from. And so
shout out Gordie Hall, Roberts Hall.
Roberts Hall, girl. That's where I went, and I lived in Roberts Hall.
With Jan?
With Jan. That's how I got into the sorority in the first place. Jan, my roommate. Remember Jan?
Oh yeah, I remember Jan. Jan fucked my man. If we're gonna be telling stories, Jan fucked my man in college, and thank you, Jan. He was short.
He was like,
I don't do short guys anymore, or that was maybe my only one. So
she's not mad at you anymore, girl.
I was never really mad, but I think I was mad for like maybe 6 minutes, and then I got over it. But yeah, okay. So your roommate Jan fucked my man.
Well, that's how I got into it, girl. I mean, she was the one reason I went to the sorority, so I would never met you without Jan, so, hey, girl.
Actually, I got involved with the sorority because Melissa Rottenberg, I knew her from the year before, and she was a Theta.
Hey, girl.
I actually went to, me and short guy that Jan fucked, Dennis, went to prom the year before with Melissa Rottenberg and her date. For some reason we wound up dating, so I knew her before. That's how I got in the sorority. I just remembered that. I haven't thought about that in years. She was the one that kind of pulled me in.
Well, that's good. I mean, we got people that we were involved with, like Amber's parents. They had you had the token cool parents that had the parties.
Amber's parents were the best.
They would serve
shout out Kathy.
Serve the underage people. Just kidding. Not really.
I don't actually remember ever being and partying with them. My memories of Sunny and Kathy are after, like, softball years.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's okay, because back in the day, it didn't matter if we were underage, because we both had fake IDs, right?
Oh my god, we so did! I forgot about that.
So, how did you get around, the old age of 21 being able to legally drink and all? How did you get around that, Brandy?
I had a student ID that I pulled out of its casing, and if you took an eraser to the
Take notes,
kids. To the number, I don't remember which number it was, but I remember if you took an eraser to it and then lightly filled it in with pencil, it would look like just like a faded student ID. And the Lake Arrowhead gas station, which was like another 15 miles up the road, the Lake Arrowhead gas station would let me buy Colt 44, deuces.
Colt 45.
Colt 45.
Not 44.
No, I couldn't remember if it was Colt 40 or Colt.
It was Mad Dog 2020.
Mad Dog 2020. 20 and Colt 45.
Yes.
Deuces.
And
so I would go up there and buy Colt 45s, and I could buy anything because of that fake ID. Tell them about yours.
My name was Melinda. I found this bitch's ID in the parking lot, and I took it and ran with it.
She was like in her 30s too.
Yes. And it pretty much
Melinda was a hot mess express.
Yes, and she was a
Stephanie ruined that girl's reputation.
Well, it's so funny because it worked everywhere except for one place. Two places. One place, the three-way stop gas station in Woodstock, Georgia.
Okay.
This lady behind the countertop wanted to get all like CSI on my ass with my fake ID. She's like, "This is not your exact jawline in this picture." I was like, "That's what you noticed?"
$7.75 an hour. You better shut up and ring me up right now.
I snapped that ID out of her hand and I took off running.
That thing's worth more than this 12
Yeah,
pack. I can buy this 12 pack anywhere.
My jawline? Really? What? How about the
Like,
fact
I
that
knew I shouldn't have stopped eating that cereal.
How about the fact that I look nothing like this girl?
How about the fact that her name's Melinda and
Yeah.
she's a 38-year-old single mom?
Hey girl, Melinda.
Hey Melinda, she ruined your reputation. We're so sorry about this. Okay, so we probably have time for one more story this episode.
So let's get into the book just a tiny bit.
So, the book. Oh yeah, that
book. We have the book.
Now she wrote a book, y'all.
Now that we've kind of introduced ourselves, let's talk about the book. A tiny story. We wanted to keep this episode at about 20 minutes because we know everybody's attention span's like a freaking gnat these days. So we want to keep it light. So we're gonna just turn to page 4, and we're gonna talk about this girl over here and the fact that she doesn't have any patience when it comes to parking spots at Walmart.
That's the old me.
Listen,
but still,
she watched
patience for people.
She watched fried green tomatoes one too many times.
No, I had a full-on Kathy Bates moment.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you talk a lot about that girl? Because it's all up in the book, and we're going to set the tone on the crazy stories that are in this book. So go right ahead, tell your truth, girl.
To Tennessee in 2008. I'm from Atlanta. In Atlanta, you flip a lot of people off, you shout a lot, you tell a lot of people to fuck off from the driver's seat of your car. Nothing ever happens. That's the mindset I brought to Tennessee in 2008.
Yes.
Until I had a full-on Kathy Bates moment at Walmart. I went to Walmart. It was around Thanksgiving. I went to Walmart. As I'm waiting to turn left into this space, the person pulls out, and the person coming from the opposite direction pulls right in. That happens in Atlanta. You roll down your window. You guys are fucking assholes. Fuck you very much. And you move on with your day. If you roll down your window and yell at bitches in Tennessee, they will come up to your window and they will punch you in the face.
Apparently, yes.
That's
learned that the hard way.
Day. So I yelled at her. I told her she was a bitch. That was my spot. Whatever. I'm about to move on. She comes up to my window and punches me straight in the nose. That gets me out of my car because now we have to fight. This cannot go unanswered. So her and her man are there, and her man takes and grabs me by the throat.
The man!
But he's a little dude. He's like,
it doesn't matter.
He's like 5'4". He's got me by the throat. He's like, don't fucking hit her. Please don't hit her. She has a brain pump. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And she punched me first. Did you miss that part where she came up and straight socked me in the nose? We have to fight. This is happening. So he's got me by the throat. She's grabbing me by the hair. I'm bringing haymakers over the top. Nothing's really getting done because we're all fighting at like arm's length. And it's like his arm's length. So however long my arm is coming over the top, I dropped my phone, which was my work phone, which at the time just happened to be a pink BlackBerry. So I can't have me get my work phone crushed in the melee. So I reached down to pick up a phone and put it in my pocket. As I come back up, I remember thinking, oh, this is a great angle. So I just basically uppercut her tit as hard as I can. It knocks her and her man back off their heels a little bit. I go get back in my car because I'm done fighting now. This is ridiculous. I mean, I go get back in my car and drive away. About 2 hours later, I get a call from my sister-in-law at the time. She's like, "Fight made Facebook."
And that was before iPhone, so
yeah. Thank God the actual physical fight didn't make Facebook, but like the mannerisms of small-town fights, you know, everybody knows about it by the end of lunch. So yeah, it had made Facebook by then. I was mortified, and that is the first and last fight I have ever been in.
That's
I'm not a
shocking.
fighter.
That is shocking. You've never been in a fight before this.
I know. I have a very big mouth. I'm not afraid to pop off on somebody. I will say whatever I want. That's not the problem. I'm never going to throw the first punch. So what I have discovered
You're defending yourself.
through this in my life is that a lot of people talk a lot of shit. A lot of people aren't fighters. They're waiting for somebody to like, oh, hold me back. Hold me back.
I'm not a fighter. I had a
Yeah,
bitch
a lot of people aren't.
freaking dump a drink on my head recently, and I was in too much shock to
Oh,
even
I
throw
forgot
a
about
punch.
that.
So, anyway, more to come on that.
That was the end of the podcast, Bill. Thank God I don't have to sit here and watch myself talk anymore.
Oh, stop. I love every second of it. Well, you guys have been great by listening for 20 whole minutes. We appreciate your time. More to come. We got lots more stories to tell. I'm going to bring this girl back whether she likes it or not. And we're going to have some fun with this podcast. So we hope to see you again soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.